Hey folks, Philly Boy J here, back with another video. And today I'm going to be showing you guys how to make a Philly style steak stromboli. What you're going to do is you're going to get a frying pan and you're going to place the frying pan over medium high heat. Then to the frying pan you're going to add a small amount of oil. I'm using vegetable oil. What we're going to do is we're going to let that oil preheat and get hot. Then we're going to add our vegetables. Now the vegetables that we're going to be using for this recipe are green bell peppers, red bell peppers, onions, and mushrooms. And as you can see here, I'm adding that to the frying pan. And we're going to be using more green peppers than red peppers. Red peppers are just a little sweeter than green peppers. So we're not going to add a lot of red peppers, okay? And the mushrooms are optional. Most people don't use as many mushrooms as I do, but I love mushrooms and steak stromboli. It's absolutely delicious. I love some mushrooms. Mushrooms, cheese, and marinara sauce. Psh, there's not a better combination than that. So I like mushrooms, but for this recipe, it is optional because that's not something that a lot of people like to add to their stromboli, at least in Philly. All right, so you're gonna saute your vegetables for a little while, and then you're gonna add your steakum steak, and you can find that in your local grocery store in the freezer section. It comes in a box that say steakum. It's already prepared steak. All right. And I like to use this because it's just easy. You know, I don't feel like cutting up some fresh steak and adding that to this when you could just go and buy a box of steakum. And the steakum tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty good to me. Now you're going to season your steakum meat. You want to make sure that you chop it up as well, okay? Make sure that you chop it up so it's nice and fine. And we're going to be seasoning it with some salt, some onion powder, some garlic powder, some Italian seasoning, because this is kind of like an Italian dish or meal. And you're going to add some black pepper. Then you're going to give that a nice stir. Stir all of your seasonings in. And then you're going to cut your fire off once all of your meat is brown. So a few pieces there that's still red, but as you can see now, it's completely brown. You don't want to overcook this because we're going to be baking the meat as well. Make sure you drain that excess oil, okay? So place the meat in a colander just like you would do your noodles, okay? You have to drain that oil, all right? Now we're going to move on to the next step. You're going to get some flour. And you're going to pour some flour on a table. And you're going to get your dough. This is store-bought dough, okay? You can get like pizza crust dough or croissant dough. I don't really like croissant dough with strombolis. I like the pizza dough. Or you can just get regular plain dough, all right? And you want to make sure that you coat under the dough so that it doesn't stick to the surface because it's kind of wet, all right? So make sure there's some flour over the dough and under the dough, and then flatten it out. Then you're going to add your meat and vegetables, okay? Add your steak and meat. I wish I had some more of this. It was so good. It was so delicious. I want to make one right now. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to make me a stromboli. That's what I'm going to do. Philly Boy J going to make him another stromboli because this was good. This was bacon. You know, it was off the chain. I don't really make them too often, but when I do, I always enjoy them. So you're going to spread your meat out. Then you're going to add your marinara sauce. And for this recipe, I recommend that you only use marinara sauce. Do not use Prego sauce or spaghetti sauce. You know what? I don't think it would hurt, but the marinara you gotta use the marinara, okay? You want your stromboli to be as close to authentic as possible. So use the marinara sauce. That's what the Italians in Philly use. They always use the marinara sauce. Then we're only going to use one cheese, but feel free to add as many cheeses as you want to use. And we're going to be using mozzarella cheese. And this is obviously shredded mozzarella cheese. All right. And the exact measurements and for any additional details concerning this recipe, visit my website, PhillyJCooking.com, so you know exactly how much of each ingredient that I'm using. Now we're just going to fold this up and see how my dough is kind of sticking a little bit. Like I said, it's really wet and I didn't add enough flour underneath the dough. So make sure there's a lot of flour underneath the dough so that you don't have a hard time flipping it over, because now that it's folded, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. We're going to be cooking this wrapped side down, and what I mean by that is the part right there that's wrapped, we're going to be cooking that side down. All right, so that's going to be the bottom, and the part that was on the bottom is going to be a top. We're going to flip that over onto some wax paper or baking paper. Okay. And then we're going to slide that onto our baking sheet. All right, just like that. Now, there are a few things that we have to do. What you're going to do is you're going to get a bowl. To the bowl, you're going to add an egg and some melted butter. But make sure that the butter is not hot because it'll cook the egg. So melt some butter in a microwave. Let it cool off a little while, beat an egg up, and then combine the two. You're also going to create some slits in your stromboli. That's so that the moisture, if any, that is in the stromboli can escape, okay? Because we want the heat to get into the stromboli to cook the dough, all right? And to cook out any juice that may come from the sauce and the steak. Otherwise, if you don't put any slits in it, it'll be real juicy and runny inside because you didn't allow no heat to get in it. All right. Make sure your oven is preheated to 350 degrees, and we're going to coat it really well with the egg wash. Okay, that's what's going to help brown it, give it a nice brown coating, and we're going to top it with some shredded mozzarella cheese. All right, we're going to be baking this on 350 degrees, and it only took about, it usually take about 35 minutes, maybe 30. All right, so we're going to place it in the oven on 350 degrees, and this is the way it came. Oh. Look at the shrimp. Look at the stromboli. Look at the stromboli. Just look at it. Just look at it. It's delicious. And you're gonna slice it in half, guys. For the recipe, like I said, visit my website, PhillyJCooking.com. Everything that you need to know about this recipe can be found there. All right. But yeah, this was the Bizzary Bum Bum. It was the Bizzary Bum Bum with the mushrooms, the cheese, and the sauce. Look at that. It was good. Just look at the cheese. Look at it. Look at it. Look at the cheese. This was amazing, guys. I hope you enjoy it because I sure enough did. I love it, and I'm definitely not going to take as long to make this again as I did last time. The last time I made this was like a year ago. It's really good. Philly Boy J showing you guys how to make a homemade stromboli. Peace. Hey guys, it's PBJ, and for more of my delicious and easy to make recipes, visit my website at PhillyJCooking.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on all my latest videos, and come join me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.